Well, as you can see by the tremendous amount of light streaming in through that window, I woke up a little later than I usually do. And 6:11 in the morning. Right now it's right around 8 o'clock. But so yesterday my toe hurt, of course, because I had to rip off my little toenail. Don't hurt too bad today, but today I have to doctor it and make sure my feet are real clean and everything. And yeah, I made that Tocado Del Fugue in CRPS minor video, and a couple people liked it, which was cool, but it was just a funny idea to me. Uh, but yesterday wasn't particularly good. I mean, um, I did walk, foot or no foot, and I wanted to walk further than I got that urge to walk further. But the problem is your house is here. You walk and you walk and you walk further away from your house, but you have to calculate if you can make it back. So, that's why you got to be careful. I mean, you can pace back and forth in front of your house until you get tired, but that is a weird form of walking. And then, like, I'm too tired, and then your house is right there, and you can stumble into your house. But if you take a real walk where you're actually going somewhere, it's like you have to calculate the distance, say, like, I can make it back, I'll be all right. So I did walk a little further yesterday. I just couldn't help it, but it wasn't very far further. And then I walked back. Um, but yeah, I didn't do too much else yesterday. Um, I was not trusting my heart lately. Uh, as far as lifting the weights, I think I might try that today. If I go outside today, it will be in broad daylight, and I will have to interact with other people, which I haven't done outside of a professional capacity in a very long time. I don't want to run into any of the people in the building. I don't want any social interaction with any of the other three people in this house. Um, so yeah, I guess it'll depend on how I feel. I would like to get in a workout with the weights. That would be cool. I slept like a rock. I mean, I think I slept from like 8 or 9 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning. I mean, it was like, the kind of sleep where it's like, and then you wake up, there's no dreaming, it was, so I should feel lively, but I don't feel particularly lively. Um, I was walking around this place this morning and I was looking at all the stuff in here, and I'm like, I really don't care about any of this stuff. And it's like I'll leave it all behind, but I don't really have to. Um, except for the furniture and the bed and stuff like that. That's prone to bed bug stuff. I got like everything all bagged up from last year, and you have to keep it bagged up for at least a year, sealed up before you open it up. Like I was saying, my non-slippery shoes are in a bag because they were in this bedroom with the bugs. So they die of starvation. But it takes like a year to a year and a half. So I got all this stuff that's just bagged up. That's why I have very few clothes. And I didn't want to buy any more because I want to move out of here because I don't know, place full of bugs. Um, so yeah, but I was thinking about that. It's like I guess I got a right to be nervous because it's like I'm uprooting my whole social structure, be moving to another city, another environment with a body that doesn't really work all that good. It would be fun if I was in my 20s. I'd be like, where I was confident physically, and I would enjoy that. Uh, but yeah, so you lose part of your already shaky support system, and then you move to a completely different neighborhood when you can't really take care of yourself right, and you can't drive. and you have limited income. So yeah, it's kind of a scary thought. But of course, living here isn't doable. And my support system, or part of it that fell away, you know, they it was more or less like they were relying on me for support. And then when I became the one that needed support, it's like, well, we can't use him anymore. I don't really understand to deal with my older sister. I would like to fix that. Uh, that's 2.5 years I haven't talked to her. I wrote her and I said, like, all you have to do is, like, talk to me and admit that it's a big deal. I don't even need an apology. So I think she just doesn't want anything to do with me. Because I'm too sick, and she figures, it'll, I'm sure she loves me in her own way, but she's like, it's too painful to support somebody that's going through all this whole bunch of suffering. So I think that's her deal, but I don't know because she doesn't talk to me. So when we talk on the phone, I get the I'm sorry, but, or like, what do you want me to do? You know? So the last thing I wrote her, I said, I want you to feel. It was the last line I wrote to her because I want her to, get her emotions right to where she figures it out her own self. You know, if all I'm asking for you to do is to admit that it's a big deal, and it would be nice to hear I'm sorry that I wasn't more supportive when I heard you cry for the first time in 29 years. She doesn't have to say, like, because I'm the one hearing the contempt. And what I heard was contempt and scorn and irritation, and that's not what you want to hear when you're breaking down. But she just has to say, like, I'm sorry I wasn't more supportive when he's having that breakdown thing, and leave it at that. But what she did was she said, I'm sorry, but, and then would throw in an excuse. You either did something wrong or you didn't do something wrong. If you're throwing in a but in your apology, it's not a real apology. It's like, say that nasty toe that I showed you. Okay. I'm sorry if that was too gross and you didn't like that. That's a real apology. Okay. Or the thought of somebody, I'm sorry if the thought of somebody ripping off their own toenail was too intense for you and it's like freaked you out. Sorry. That's a real apology. And it was gross, and that foot is a fucking nightmare. That's why I wear socks all the time. I don't like to look at it myself. But that's what I had to do, and I wanted to show my willingness to just soldier on. In a way it's gross, but it should be like inspirational. Like, this guy ripped off his own toenail, and then like an hour and a half later he went into an appointment and was just like, fuck it, I'll put a shoe over this toenail. Okay, that's a real apology. A fake apology would be like, I'm sorry about showing you that toe, but man, did you see that thing? I mean, I had to. I didn't have no choice but to show you that toe because of this or because of that. And I'm like, of course I didn't have to show you that toe. There's no buts in a real apology. That's when you know you're getting a fake apology. Is B-U-T. There's no buts in an apology. The person says they feel they're sorry, and they express why they're sorry, what they did, and that's it. If they're really remorseful, they're really sorry. She also said this thing to me that no matter what happens, I will always love you. And it felt like a breakup or something. I've never had any relationships, but it felt like, it actually felt like some kind of weird breakup, like what I see on TV or TV shows where there's a couple and the person's like, we can just be friends, but I just can't Or like, you know what I mean? Like, shit. See, I'm out of my depth here. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that things have to be this way, but I will always love you. It feels like, get the fuck away from me, but I will always love you, you know. So, anyways, um, yeah, I don't like thinking about that too much. That's a pretty painful subject for me to think about. But change is in the wind, and it's long overdue. So, I have to be brave. And I'm, I used to be. It's the Blackfeet have a saying that bravery does not exist without a strong body. But I don't buy that. I buy that from their perspective because they're out in the wild. If you don't have a strong body, you're gonna be dead. But I don't buy that as far as like actually it takes more bravery if you have a weak body to make major changes. Because you're nervous about walking across the fucking floor. But um, yeah, today I hope to um, pick up the weights. I've been real nervous about my heart, and you know, this whole idea is a stressful idea, and I just have to. I want to keep up with my weights though, and like I said, last time I tried them, I was like, my heart's beating too fast, and threw them down, and I'm like, I went and took a blood pressure pill and 5 milligrams of Valium, and just like, you know, it makes me feel good though when I can lift weights. It's a nice endorphin thing. It's a good self-esteem thing. And also, I don't want to lose all the work that I already put in. Is what happens if you lay off lifting weights for too long. You can actually maintain a build, if you want to call what I have a build. You can actually maintain it with just 2 workouts a day, a week. Just 2 workouts a week, you can maintain it. You're not going to progress, and it's not going to be the same. You need at least 3, preferably 4. Um, that's once you establish, once you get the definition, you establish a little muscle growth and tone and whatnot. But that's a scary business. You know, I don't necessarily have visions of shock pedals floating through my head, but once that's why I tell people, man, guard your heart, because once you have heart trouble, it's all that's the specter of that's always there. You're always thinking about it. You're always worried about it. And yeah, since I've had that bad month of February where I tapered too fast, it's like I think about it like, I don't know, 20, 30 times a fucking day. Um, so I'm pretty paranoid about it. Um, because once you get to a certain point with that, they start talking about serious shit. Like, they were going to put me on a medication that made me feel like shit called Solitol. That was supposed to keep my heart from going out of rhythm again. I recounted that on here already. And it's like, this stuff, I can barely stay awake on it, and I feel awful when I'm on it. And at the time, I was taking my full dose of Valium. I was taking, I think, I was taking the 3 10 milligram things of Valium a day. So, you know, I shouldn't have been feeling any Valium withdrawal, because I wasn't withdrawing at the time. This was in September, when I'd already had that summer here where with the crazy vet guy, and I was like, it's not gonna happen here. I'm not tapering here. So um, that's one option if you keep having arrhythmia. The other option is ablation, which is ABLA shun, and that involves, sticking a vascular catheter into your heart and blasting these nerves and killing these nerves that cause the overexcitability. And that's what, like I said, that's what happened to. That's what Tito Francona, the manager of the Cleveland Indians, went through when he had arrhythmia. They couldn't get his heart back to normal through cardioversion, through the shocking, and they had to do that to him. So all that stuff stays in your head, and so yeah, take care of your heart. If you're smoking and you can quit, do it. If you have too much of a stressful life, like reduce whatever stress you can in your life, like as far as expressing yourself and your emotions. That's also very key. It's very bad for you to keep yourself bottled up. These are things that are universally accepted by the medical and psychiatric community as not opinions. These are facts. Stress kills, smoking kills, and whatever else I said. I don't remember. But anyways, let's see where we're at here. I don't want to talk for too long. 16 minutes. That's long enough. So anyways, I wish you a good day. And yeah. You stay with me through the whole. I'll be here every day for what it's worth. And I'll let you know how I'm doing. Tomorrow I'll let you know if how I'm going to try to lift weights. I'll let you know how it goes. But if I get freaked out, I get freaked out. Actually, my first case of arrhythmia ever that I had when I was 36 years old was after lifting weights. But I was also smoking then too. So, and I wasn't tapering. In the summertime, it was more or less smoking and stress that brought on the September 13th shocking. So it could be just in my head, like, the paranoia of like, oh, my heart's beating too fast. Since I sort of destabilized myself by tapering too fast and actually lost ground. Because I was okay at 12.5 for the 9 days. I did not feel good, but I was okay. I just dropped it too fast at 10, and then I've never been right since, because I tapered incorrectly, because I got impatient. And, yeah, so you can check in with me tomorrow and see, if you want, and see if I was able to get through a workout and overcome justifiable fears involving that. And yeah, you can tell I got some anxiety today. I mean, change is in the wind. It isn't easy to move to another city and change your whole life, and it's just me, more or less. I'll have support from my niece, and my brother will be there, but he won't be able to support me much. So basically, I got my niece. As far as like, I can spread some money around, and I'm trying to develop anyway a relationship with my 6'3", 270-pound nephew. So, they need money, so I can spread some money around as far as like people helping me move and whatnot. The moving process can be slow. It doesn't have to be fast. I would like to be out of here yesterday, but it can be a slow process. It doesn't have to be like the lesbian crackhead couple that moved out of here. And they got a U-Haul truck. They got all their shit in that truck, and they were gone in a day. Nobody, they escaped like thieves in the night. I don't know what was going on with them, but I was, like I said, I called the landlord up, and I was like, "Oh, thanks for finally doing something about uh, Red," and I forget what the other girl's name was, the one that got beat up. And he goes, "What are you talking about? They just did it on their own." But not. I don't even need a U-Haul truck. I'm not moving much out of here. I just need a trunk of a car. So I'm just gonna start over and try my luck at another place. And the funny part is like people are the guy was saying like it's a nice place and all that, and he doesn't understand. I just live in this fucking room. Anything has got to be better than this. Any I would like a big bathtub that I could actually sit in, that I could actually use. I mean, I got like a shower chair in my bathtub, and it doesn't even fit in the bathtub. It's like it's in the way. When I stand up, it's banging me in the back of the knees and stuff. I got one of them old person shower chair things, um, which makes sense. And also, it's kind of nice to be able to sit down and just let the water hit you, especially when you aren't paying for the water or the gas to heat the water. But anyways, I'm now up to 20 minutes, and I said goodbye a few minutes ago. So uh, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a good day and you're not feeling too bad. And yeah, I wish you luck. Goodbye.